We made it, y'all. We made it to the last episode of season 4 of the Tu Novio podcast. And I'm just like, wow. As you can tell, we are in a different set. This set is actually real life. It's my house. And I wanted to do it here specifically because I am going through a lot of changes. In 2024, things are definitely going to look different. I won't be living here anymore, so I feel like to do the final episode in a place that is a lot of like nostalgia for me, holds a lot of nostalgia and just memories, because I would have lived here from a whole year. And to me, it's honestly pretty amazing that I stayed in a place out here in LA after going through this crisis, because finding housing here is kind of tough. But yeah, I wanted to do the last episode here to just commemorate and to look back future years from now and be like, remember when you used to live there on Pico and Mariposa and all this stuff was happening in your life and things kind of looked uncertain? I'm a huge believer of documenting, whether that's journaling, having audio, or having even like video about our lives. I think it's really important just to look back, kind of like an archive, a history book of your life. And I'm super grateful to have this, because I really do want to be like one day just going on my flat screen or whatever's out in like 30 years and be like, whoa, look how far I came. Look at all the people I've met, all the memories that I've gone through. So yeah, like I'm super grateful that we finally made it to the last episode of the season. The second to last episode, we had a really good kinky BFF, so I hope that you tuned in, especially to all the creators that have come by. Single Girl Club, Kinky BFF, Moods After Hours, all the guests that came, thank you so much for coming. Like, the fact that we were able to pull those interviews in a short time frame, like, thank you, God. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Court. Thank you, everyone. Valencia. Thank you, House of Hidden Jewels, for everything. You know, like, you literally made my podcast dreams come true. And even like just going back on the episodes and looking at them, I've been taking mental notes of things I want to do differently for next year, how I want to work on the enunciation. I feel like since the first episode, it's gotten way better. So I want to keep, working on that, building up my confidence in like interviewing, whether I have someone with me or it's someone virtually. Like, it's just been a whole learning experience. This episode is really about how my 2024 will look like. I'm going to talk in the sense of like it already happened. So Carmen will be in a studio, hopefully in a studio that like really accepts me for who I am and I'm able to create freely. I definitely want to be in community. I feel like whether it's working with different podcasters or just people that they themselves also have a community, like community is what I want. I see myself also creating like in a new home space. So I would love to have a balance of both in studio and then also creating where I live. Just for the authenticity of who I am. I feel like even doing this is kind of scary because it's like, wow, like I won't have this next year. So the fact that I'm showing you this is like vulnerable, to showcase. But I think doing that next year is really important for me, just to see the glow up. And another thing is like I want to keep connecting with others and finding an outlet or being a conduit for creators. I definitely like the fact that if I have a resource, I'm very quick to be like, hey, like connect with people. Not only I feel like is that representative of my brand, which I definitely want to put into the space as like the hype girl in action, and as a host of this podcast, because ultimately like community education, entertainment is the whole theme of who I am. So I just want to keep going. And, season 4 has been a learning experience just in general of like how people are, one, making a living, two, how they're authentically themselves. We all have a background story, and there's a reason as to like why we do what we do. And it's been really like inspiring to talk to these creators that have this very unique why. And I've been kind of thinking to myself as, I go into this new year, why am I doing what I do, and why am I walking in the path that I'm walking in? The podcast obviously is like very, very important to me, but this is only a foundation to the things that I want to do. Like the podcast, like, talking, being comfortable in front of a camera, connecting with people, that all is going to stem into eventually being on red carpets, talking to heavy hitters and people with influence and people that really move the world and have that dial. And also connecting with creators that I feel like deserve to be looked at and to be highlighted. Like, I'm very particular with the people that I choose to be on the podcast because, one, I see a lot of potential in them. So I'm like, no, you need to talk more about this. You need to do this. And also it's people that inspire me. I'm like, you're doing a lot. So like, I want you to keep doing it because that also inspires me. So yeah, next year, more inspiration, more community, more discernment as to like who I'm creating with, and really like tapping into that. But also at the same time, like supporting my friends. I feel like this is why it took a while to finish the 4th season. Like, I haven't really been in a good mental space to create. And sometimes when life hits you, it's kind of hard to be like, I'm going to pick up the phone and record some content, like you really do have to be in a good mental space. So I really like appreciate the fact that we're able to pivot and move. Because I was really like, man, like, how am I going to get the studio for the podcast? And then I was like, girl, you have a studio. You have a house. You could do it here. So I'm really happy with, like, the pivoting because life happens and sometimes you got to move and, things go unplanned. But for some reason, things always work out. And that reason, honestly, is the why and the universe and God. So, yeah, definitely want to do that. And another thing I see myself really doing next year, and even I'm practicing and doing it now, is just diving in. I'm so used to like always being like, okay, it's got to be step 1, then step 2, then step 3. It has to be that way. As I've learned, it doesn't happen that way. And you just got to do it. Like literally, like I feel like, why is it that sometimes we make it so hard, but it's just like you just got to do it. And I've been seeing a lot also like on TikTok to be seen trying. A lot of my friends are creators and they're musicians and they curate these really cool events. And honestly, like, it's scary. I'm pretty sure they're scared too. They're like, yo, like, I'm literally just like putting stuff out there and people might see it flop or people might see it do really well. And it's scary to just be seen trying, to be seen like doing something. And I don't like when people are like, it's so cringe, why are you putting your stuff out there? It's like, because I need to. I need to do it to get somewhere. You have to move the needle. You have to produce. You have to learn. You have to, put your content out there. So I definitely feel like if you're watching this, put your content out there. The right people are definitely watching. Your friends are watching. If they're supportive, they'll support. And honestly, if creatives out there, like, support your friends. Like, it really doesn't take much, especially at the moment. Yes, we do need to get paid. We need to get funded, but everyone starts somewhere, and the value of just reposting, liking, making event recaps or anything, that literally goes a long way. Because I have people that follow me and people are like, what are those events that you always go to? And I'm like, oh, really? Well, you gotta follow so-and-so page. You gotta get there. But yeah, I think that's super important. And that's what I really want to do here on the podcast. I want to have people that I'm like, there's a reason why they're here. And for me, it's like being in places that I'm like, no, like the way and the reason as to why I go to these places is like, I genuinely believe that they're very like hidden and they deserve like that light on them. And they're gonna get that light regardless, but like, you need to know first, coming from me. So yeah, like, I'm just super thankful for, you know, coming to this end of season 4. That's one thing that I really wanted to do this year. I was like going back and forth. I'm like, man, should I finish it in January? But I'm like, no. You started season 4 in 2023. You need to end it in 2023 so that you're refreshed and healed for 2024. So I'm really happy that I made it, that I am creating here. And Carmen, if you're watching this, I know you're watching, you're going to be fine. Next year's going to look amazing for you and beautiful, and you're going to be surrounded by really good friends and people and your boo. And I'm manifesting a kitty. So hopefully, you know, in the start of 2025, I'll have like a little cat with me, and she'll be like the mascot for the Tu Novio podcast. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And the theme of 2024 is support your friends and feed into your loved ones. Bye.